Going on, guys? It's your boy Arset here, doing a mixing and mastering tutorial. Using one of Bianca and K Chemistry's tracks called Start Your Engines right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So it's a quick mix, even though those shouldn't even be in the same sentence, to be honest. There should never be a quick mix, but I'm just going to quickly go through the different steps I take to mix vocals over a track and also master that final mix. So what I started out with, I have the beat, the instrumental, in one channel, lyrics and both other lyrics in their own channels. Here's Kim's and here's Bianca's. So it's going to start with a beat. I usually have a little setup here where I start off with a balancer, a parametric EQ, because sometimes the beat may not. Sometimes I want to bring out certain elements of a beat, so I use a EQ to do that sometimes. But the beat, I don't really think needs too much of it, so I'm just gonna keep it down some for right now, maybe. And the Ozone, they kind of add some finishing touches, excuse me, usually. And again, I really don't need to add any of that right now. These aren't any magical numbers. I usually go through the beat and try to find out what needs to be lifted or whatever. But I'm not worrying about that right now. So I'll go ahead and start the beat off. This is with no mixing, nothing. That's how it sounds right now.
Conductor, engineer, fireman, brakeman, is my crew all ready? Here we go! Yeah.
Excellent.
Start up the engine. Mic check. It's my turn. I get to go.
And as you can see, when you look at this dB meter here, it's going way above zero, and that's not what you want. For a mix, you want the level to get to around -3, no more than -2, between -3 and -2 before you before you start the mastering process. Because the mastering is going to bring out that overall mix for you and make it sound a little bit more crisper and everything. So we're going to first start with the instrumental track. With the instrumental, I usually try to keep it around between -6 and -9, depending on how well the track is mixed. So I may just bring it down to -8. So for right now. And you do that by listening to the track and watching the meter, basically.
Conductor, engineer, fireman, brakeman.
So that's what I'm doing, watching the meter, see how high it gets during the kicks and the bass together. So those are usually the peak moments of the track. Okay, I'll keep it right here for right now. It's a little over -8, almost -7. So I'll keep it there for right now. Alright. So we'll leave that alone for right now. So now we're gonna work on Kim's vocals here.
Mic check. It's my turn. I get to go.
Alright. I'm going to start off like right here. I usually have the vocals like just basically repeating until I get the mix that I want. I usually start off with parametric EQ and a high pass. And I usually listen to the vocals, which is what I'm about to do now. Figure out where I want that high pass to cut at. So usually around like 100 or 150 for a high pitched voice. So
I get to going like I'm late for something important. They gotta stand still. My lyrics like liquid in motion. I'm ancient and stolen. Well, that mean never no soul in my pen. For what I hit it with like I'm dangerous and bowling. Claiming they own it.
You also,
so they say they got the whole rap game.
you also don't want to cut out too much of the low end for someone with a high vocal.
When I drop this, they pop this. The best days are when you
So I try to retain some of that. I use a high pass for high pitch voices. Lower pitch vocals, I use low shelf, and that's usually when I basically bring this down. That's low shelf. That's the difference between low shelf and high pass. And low shelf basically keeps the lower area at -18, so you can kind of still get a little bit of that lower end, so the vocal feels a little bit more fuller when you have a vocal with a deeper voice. So yeah, so we change this back. Alright, so usually what I do is I use a peak method to find out where the impurities are in a vocal track. Frequency impurities. There is a photo that I have posted on the discussion network that has the different areas of vocal frequency chart. You have your low end, you have your nasal, you have your muddy area, you have your digital area, which brings out the vocal in a digital mix. You have the air, you have high frequency. So yeah, I would check that out when trying to mix vocals, because you kind of it at least gives you an idea of where your problem areas are and where your situation areas are. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with the lower end, the lower muddy area.
I get to going like I'm late for
So I usually bring this down to to 4% peak, and then just scrub this across and try to listen for that impurity. Okay, so you hear that? I mean, it sounds like you know you're listening to someone through a jug or something. Alright, so that's a muddy area for me. So I'm gonna bring that down a little bit, not too much, because you don't want to take out too much of the low end from the voice. But you can hear the change when I lower this.
When I drop this, they pop this. The best days are when you spit your best way. Yesterday is still better than the next day.
Alright, the next area is the nasal area.
You can own, but I got the game in a choke. I get to going like I'm late for something important. They gotta stand still. My lyrics are liquid in motion. I'm ancient and stolen. Well, that mean never no soul in my pen. For when I hit it with like a
it's so piercing right there. That's what you want to get rid of. And lowering this gets rid of that in the overall mix. So that's what I'm doing now.
When I drop this, they pop this. The best days are when you spit your best way. Yesterday is still better than the next day. Blessed day, might with a little bit of vocals. I'm local with the flow. You can own, but I got the game in a choke. I get to going like I'm late for something important. They gotta stand still.
Her vocals are pretty loud. I may not even need to accentuate the digital area too much, but we'll see. And you want to try to get the vocal level probably maybe 0.5, about 0.3 to 0.5 decibel over the level of the actual track. So I usually put in a different plugin called VFX Pro Vocoder, and it's basically a vocal compression tool that kind of spreads out the vocal a little bit for you and lifts it out. But I don't know if I'm going to need that with her vocal, so we'll see.
Yesterday is still better than the next day. Blessed day, might with a little bit of vocals. I'm local with the flow. You can own, but I got the game in a choke. I get to going like I'm late for something important. They gotta stand still. My lyrics are liquid in motion. I'm Well, that mean never no soul. My pen for what I hate it with, like I'm dangerous and bowling, claiming they own it. So when they say they got the whole rap game,
and again, you want to keep the level at no higher than -2.
When I drop this, they pop this. The best days are when you spit your best way. Yesterday is still better than the next day. Blessed day, might with a little bit of vocals. I'm local with the flow. You can own, but I got the game in a truck. I get to going like I'm late for something important. They gotta stand still. My lyrics are liquid emotion. I'm ancient and solar. Well, that mean never no soul. My pen for what I hate it with, like I'm dangerous and bowling, claiming they own it. So when they say they got the whole rap game, not shit. I'm looking for the locksmith.
I know I'm quiet right now, but you know I'm listening and
when I drop this, they pop this.
trying to make sure that everything comes out right.
Still better than the next day. Blessed day, might with a little bit of vocals. I'm local with the flow. You can own, but I got the game in a truck. I get to going like I'm late for something important. They gotta stand still. My lyrics are liquid emotion. I'm ancient and solar. Well, that mean never no soul. My pen for what I hate it with, like I'm dangerous.
I'm turning this up
so when they say they got the whole rap game, not shit. I'm looking for the locksmith.
because I'm still keeping it within that -6 to -9 range. Sometimes you need to bring it up because this is a pretty good mix here, so I can bring it up to -6.
Well, that mean never no soul. My pen for what I hate it with, like I'm dangerous and bowling, claiming they own it. So when they say they got the whole rap game, not shit. I'm looking for the locksmith. Pop locks quick, then pop shit. No pop
Okay,
shit.
actually, I'm gonna try to see what happens when I add this.
The best days are when you spit your best way. Yesterday is still better than the next day. Blessed day, might with a little bit of vocals. I'm local with the flow. You can own, but I got the game in a truck. I get to going like I'm late for something important. They gotta stand still. My lyrics are liquid emotion. I'm ancient and solar. Well, that mean never no soul. My pen for what I hate it with, like I'm dangerous and bowling, claiming they own it. So when they say they got the whole rap game, not shit. I'm looking for the locksmith. Pop locks quick, then pop shit.
Another trick that I use.
When I drop this, they pop this. The best days are when you spit your best way. Yesterday is still better than the next day. Blessed day, might with a little bit of vocals.
I don't even know if you will be able to hear this, but another trick that I use is I turn down the speakers probably around here, because what I'm trying to do is listen to only the mid-range if possible, because when you hit a low end, you know, it can kind of throw off the level of where your vocals are compared to your beat, and you want to only hear the mid level because that's where your vocals usually are, mid and high. So I don't even know if you can hear this, but I'm comparing the two. Okay, again, you want the vocals to be just a little louder than the level of the beat. So I put that around there. Alright. So right now it's just above the mix for me. You want to use your ears, but you also want to use the dB meter too, because that's also going to dictate what you hear in a car and other different mediums. You know, because just because it sounds good on your studio monitors don't mean it's going to sound good in your car or on some earbuds or on your TV or iPod, or you know. So you need to test that stuff out. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next video to go over Bianca's vocal track. So see you soon.